Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today I'm here to bring you an anime review on Aldnoah.Zero Season 2. We have a little bit of Maryland tactics going on in this episode, which is shocking. Like, it's shocking to see Inaho use some form of tactics that kind of reminds me of Hunter x Hunter. Now, it wasn't fleshed out like Hunter x Hunter did it, but to see how Inaho was beating his opponents by using their unconscious bias, that right there, I was engaged in this episode when I saw it. I was like, yo, Inaho's using unconscious bias to beat his opponents. He's looking at the bias and the way the opponents choose their attack patterns to be able to win against him. And when I saw that, I'm like, yo, Inaho, man, you my boy, you my boy. And to see that, I was like, that's damn nice. It's really nice. You know, one thing I have to say, and I've been meaning to say it for quite a long time now, and I want to say it now. You know, if it wasn't for Inaho in this series, like if he wasn't part of the Terran side or the human side on Earth, Earth would be fucked. Like, let's just be real here, okay? Earth would be fucked if it wasn't for Inaho. Because Inaho, he is a living supercomputer. Straight up a living supercomputer. The way he uses unconscious bias to the lightning, the way he comes up with these tactics to beat the enemies, Aldnoah drives and stuff like that. If it wasn't for Inaho, everybody on Earth would be screwed already. They would all be dead. And I just gotta point it out. That just goes to show you how much Inaho holds up the Earth side. He literally is like the main pillar that's supporting the entire Earth side. And Slain, I guess you can kind of consider he's supporting the entire, you know, Martian side. Now, the main thing when it comes to this episode, very simple. There's a lot of things going down with the princesses, which I will get into in a moment. But mainly, majority of the beef of this episode is action, fighting, seeing Inaho overcome his opponents and, you know, his enemies that are on the Martian side with unconscious bias and looking at their attack patterns and overcoming them. And I have to say, it was a really intriguing episode seeing, you know, the wits and tactics that Inaho used against these enemies. And it just goes to show you, Inaho, he really is a smart thinker. Like, he's straight up. The way he can break down certain situations and figure out how he can overcome his opponents, I have to say it's impressive. It really is. Now, some do say that it's kind of too impressive, but it's still impressive nonetheless. Now, one thing I want to say, the princess scene in this episode, yo, did not expect that twist. Like, I did not expect the twist of Asahila, or little Hime, being like, disguising herself as the fraud princess. I did not expect to see our main Hime-sama do that. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, Slane's fucked. Slane is fucked. Because he just got called out. Like, he just got caught, and now the original princess knows how much of a monster he's become. She instantly knows. She's like, you're no longer the Slane I know. That's what she says. I'm like, yo. Because that's something I've been wanting to see since we found out that she's kind of lost her memories. I just wanted to see what she would think of Slane now that he's become slightly more like a monster. And to see her perspective in this when she pulls out a gun and points it at Slane. You know what? I have to say, I gotta give props to the studio that's currently doing this and the writers. They foreshadowed the princess doing this. They did. I mean, if you look at I think it was the ending song or was it the opening song? It was ending or opening song of Season 1. You see the princess holding a gun. And the gun, she was pointing at someone, but we never got to find out who she was pointing it at in Season 1. So clearly, that was foreshadowing to this event. The princess pointing her gun at someone. At first, when I first saw this episode, I thought the fraud princess, when she pointed the gun at her sister, I thought that was what the scene was trying to foreshadow from the opening ending song when I saw this episode. I was like, yo, is that like scene that we saw in the opening song? Was it foreshadowing that it was the fraud princess going to shoot her own sister? If that was going to happen, I'm like, damn. Because this princess, okay, she survived death like 3 times? Choking, the explosion from episode 1, the headshot, and yeah, I mean, she survived a lot of shit. So, I mean, if she would have died like that, I'd been like, whoa, but So yeah, besides that, moving on to the main points of the episode, you have it to where the princesses, they kind of have a dispute with Slane, and Slane locks both the princesses up at the end of the episode, and he doesn't really care. He will doesn't care if they don't agree with his ideals or whatever it is, but he's going to continue to do what he set out to do. And it just goes to show you the perspective in where Slane is currently at as a character and how his, mentality is, and why he's slightly starting to lose it, and why he's became a monster compared to how he was in Season 1. And along with the cliffhanger we get this week on Aldnoa, we find out that the Count, one of my favorite Counts from the original Season 1 that got butchered by Sawsbomb, we find out his son is alive, or he has a son, and he pops up at the end of this episode, and I don't know how I feel about that. I want to be real here. The way the son was introduced at the end of this episode, it's cool and all. I like the character from Season 1, but it feels like our cast of characters are getting way too crowded. It really does. There's a real issue when it comes to Aldnoa.Zero when it comes to the characters, because there's just so many characters in the series that have not been fleshed out at all. And adding in more characters is not a good idea. I mean, let's face it, okay? It's gotten so bad, and the cast has gotten so, I guess, disorganized because there's just so many people that they're starting to call people Lightning and Invisibility. That's bad when you have to call your own characters Lightning and Invisibility, because there's just so many damn characters. And that's what's happening in Aldnoa.Zero Season 2. So I'm not a big fan of more characters being introduced because there's already way too many, but we'll have to see. Maybe this character might get some really good development, might flesh out more about the Count that got butchered in Season 1, and we might have some awesome good things going on that will, flesh out Slane's character even more. But tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode of Aldnoa.Zero Season 2? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What's your favorite moments about it? You all have a wonderful day or nights wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.